Graspop 2019, it's Saturday and we are here with Mark of Lamb of God. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
You've been on tour with Slayer?
I have been. Yes.
For a long while now?
Yeah, quite a few runs on that tour, yeah.
How's that going?
It's great, man. It's it's bittersweet because Slayer's finishing up, and it's I think it's been that band has been a big part of all of our lives, but it's also it's a real honor to be a part of that and for them to include us on so much of their farewell tour. So we're stoked about that.
Is it their way of handing the torch to you guys?
I don't know. We've been working with them for so long. Our first time ever coming to Europe or to the UK was with Slayer, and that was, gosh, I don't even remember. It's been some time ago, well over 15 years ago. So, I don't know. It's just we've worked with them a lot over the years, and I'm glad to have the chance to do it one more time.
Yeah, it's been 4 years since you released Sturm und Drang.
Yeah.
You've re-recorded Burn the Priest as well. You did a solo album.
Yeah.
What is next?
Well, obviously some new Lamb of God. Yeah, it's in the process of that. And
do you feel any pressure of now? Is that because 4 years is nowadays a bit of a long time?
I don't think any more than usual. I mean, it's always the new material is always really important to us, and it is at this time as well. So we're really putting a lot of ourselves into it, and a lot of our kind of personal experience, and a lot of good energy going into it. But I don't know. At this point, I don't think it's any pressure. Except just to document where we are at this point in our career and feel good about it. Nothing, no specifics to announce, no date or anything like that, but it is underway for sure.
Did because there are 4 years between it, did you was it part of the deal that you had the time to make a solo album? Was it like the idea before?
No, it seems like it would be, right, with that much time, but no, that just kind of grew on its own. It really, the solo stuff, it was such a joy to make. I appreciate you asking me about it.
I can imagine, yeah.
And it just became a much bigger deal than I ever really expected or anticipated it being. I really just had these songs that kind of off to the side that were just sort of popped up in the process of me writing music. And they clearly didn't fit into what Lamb of God does, but I felt like they had something about them that deserved kind of a life of their own, and that's what turned into the Anesthetic album, and it's been a joy to do.
You've had some guest musicians and singers on it as well.
Quite a few.
Were those people friends of you before, or were some of them like people you just wrote like, please sing on my album?
It's both. It's really both. I mean, there were a lot of people on the album that were friends. Randy obviously is one of my best friends in the world. He was on the album. Jacoby and I have been friends for years. Mike Inez played bass on about half the album. I've been friends with him for years. So there's a list of people that I had relationships with previous to making music. Chuck Billy, for example.
Yeah.
But then there are some people on the album that I met and got to know through the course of working on music with them. Mark Lanigan, Chester Bennington, Josh Todd, guys like that. So it was kind of both. It just varied from person to person. But that's been the biggest joy for me was just being able to collaborate and write songs with some people artists of that caliber. Man, I felt grateful to be in the room.
Okay, man. An artist like Mark Lanigan, I mean, he's doing another kind of music. I can imagine what you do daily.
Yeah, sure.
He also did the Queens of the Stone Age stuff, of course. But how did he respond to your question?
Well, yeah, Lanigan was a peculiar instance because I'm just such a massive fan of his work, his whole body of work, really. And so I reached out to him, just sort of cold call, like we'd never met, we'd never had any correspondence.
Have you ever heard of?
I just sent him an email and said, listen, like I'm working on this project, I'm a huge fan. I figured I'd ask. You never know. There's a lesson in there. You never know unless you ask. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I sent him the song, and he was into it, and it went from there. And we're friends now. You know what I mean? I heard from him just a few days ago. So,
cool.
You never know, and if you don't ask, you won't know. Same thing with Chester. I mean, Chester. I really didn't expect that he would be interested or have the time or inclination to work on the project like that, but he heard the song and he loved it, and so we got cross off out of that. And
it was the last thing he ever did.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was one of them if it wasn't the last, but just an honor to get the chance to write a song with Chester. He's a really, really good dude.
Yeah. Is there a difference between you playing here or in America?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's just a different kind of vibe. It's hard to put my finger on it. It's not better or worse. It's just different. You know, I think these festivals, this atmosphere and this culture of like the big summer music festival is not something it's not as big a part of our culture in America. There have been some traveling festivals, Ozfest, that kind of thing, and now there are more destination festivals like modeled after what you guys are doing here.
Okay.
But I think most people here grew up coming to these kind of things, so it's just
Yeah.
the atmosphere is really special, and I'm glad we could be here for it.